Well, good morning, good afternoon, depending on when you're watching this presentation. As you know, 4-H All-Stars are a huge part of the Tennessee 4-H program, particularly our senior high program. And so I think it's important, very important, that we do a good job reporting our service hours that are completed by our 4-H members across the state. These numbers that are reported to me do not just go in some folder, they are not just logged and then forgotten about. I get these requests on a fairly semi-regular basis from Dr. DiPietro, from Dr. Cross, from Marketing Communications, asking for the number of service hours that our 4-H All-Stars pledged to, for a given year, so they can be used for promotional materials, reports to the legislature, et cetera. So it's really important that every county does a good job reporting those service hours and feeding those into the regions. Just so that you know and understand, particularly for new agents, all those service hours and reports are due to me by July 1st of the given year, which means they're due to the regional office, to your regional 4-H specialist prior to that. So when they send out a request for that information, then you'll know what to expect. Know that this presentation is being done in 2017, and if the format changes throughout the next couple of years, we'll certainly adapt and modify this presentation. But as it is right now, the way it works, the way the structure works, is that currently, and this has changed in the past couple of years, we're asking every county to only submit one 591 form. For those of you that have worked a long time, you remember the old 4-H All-Star Tomahawk Award report form. It's the same form. For new agents, you know it as the 591 All-Star Service Report Form. So that's for the Don Bowman project, which is really looking at the most outstanding service project across the state. And so we'll take one per county. That'll be your top project that you'll fill out and complete and have the 4-H members sign off on, the volunteers sign off on, you'll sign off on. And those are filtered to the regional office and then on to here on campus. And then also for the Peggy Davis recognition, which is really the number of service hours aggregated, we have a spreadsheet that was developed that has been very helpful. So really all you have to do now to report service hours is to do one form completed with what you would describe or feel is your most outstanding project, and then complete the spreadsheet with all the other projects listed so that we have the aggregate, including the project that's listed on the 591. So if you'll join me then, we'll go through the presentation, and I want to just talk through what it looks like to complete that form. Step one, if you look at this form, again, this form may become updated. I realize it has the old logo, and we're working with Marketing Communications to get all those updated, but the format should not change. Again, remember, these are due to me by July 1, so they need to be to the regions prior to that. You're going to list your county, you're going to list the name of the project, whatever that is, and that could be an acronym that you have, the Hugs Collection Project or the Operation Christmas Child Project, whatever. And then the date completed, and that will need to be, if it was spread over several months, you can put January through March, whatever given year. If it was done in a particular month or even on a particular day, you can be specific with that. You'll list the number of 4-H All-Stars in your county. It doesn't mean the ones that are involved in the project, but it means how many do you actually have in your county. You'll need to list that there. Then it asks for the number of all 4-H All-Stars involved with this specific project. And please be honest with this information. I know y'all are honest and ethical people, but please be honest when you share this. If you have 10 All-Stars in your county and 3 helped with this project, put 3. It also wants to know a number of other 4-H members involved. So let's say you did it and your local honor club helped, and 10 of those youth were not All-Stars, but 3 of them, you had 3 All-Stars and 10 non-All-Stars. Then you had a total of 13, 3 in the second column being All-Stars, 10 being in the third column or the line as 4-Hers involved in the project. What I see some people do is I see these extravagant numbers like 2,000 4-Hers involved in the project. If every 4-Her in your county took an active role in the project, great. But if not, please just don't list every member in your county just because, again, we need to make sure that we're honest in our reporting measures. Number of adult volunteers assisting with this project. volunteers, not the administrative assistant, the program assistant, the agent. No, those are actual volunteer leaders who have assisted in some capacity with this project. Total contact hours. So you're basically going to take the number of people times hours dedicated. So again, it's real easy to see when somebody is shooting for the moon with this. When I see a report comes across that's 365,000 hours, not really, but it's very obvious that somebody has gotten a little zealous in their reporting. Be honest. We don't want you to shortchange yourself, but also when I see those reports, sometimes it feels like a red flag, and it makes me nervous to report such a spike to the legislature, to marketing communications, because if they started asking questions and I pulled your form, you may have a hard time explaining that. And then finally, number of people benefiting from this project. Again, I see this across the board. Let's all be ethical with this in our approach. Sometimes people have put, we did a park cleanup in Nashville, and I'm making this up, and 650,000 people live in Nashville, plus another 300,000, so 1 million people. Again, we can spot those things a mile away. Do your best estimate, but we're not looking to win a prize for the most people benefited on this. You know, yes, we'll give an award for the most outstanding service project, but that doesn't mean that, you know, we post something on social media and we have, you know, 10,000 people that are in our county on social media, and that's all of a sudden that people impacted. Be realistic and reasonable with this. You also want to describe the service project completed. Now, let me tell you, folks, this really needs to come from a 4-H All-Star member. There's nothing wrong with you helping and giving guidance, but it doesn't need to be the agent doing the report. It should be a 4-H All-Star. Maybe you have a service chair. Hopefully you do in your county, and they're the ones completing this report. But we need detail on what was done, how it was done, where, who. You know, we collected over 10,000 items for Operation Christmas Child, and on November the 11th, held a packing party at the local Baptist church where we packed 752 boxes, which were then sent to the local processing center, etc. But give some detail. We don't do service to get an award, but at the same time, you don't want it to be something that you've just thrown together at the last minute with very little detail. I would honestly, to be real frank with you, rather have no report than a report that might embarrass my county. So with that being said, I do want every county to do a report, but just make it meaningful, because again, unlike what we used to do where you have to do one for every single project, we're only asking you to do one now. Why was this project selected? Why did you choose this project? Again, let that come from the hearts of the 4-H members. You know, we saw a real need with hunger in our community and felt that organizing a food drive would be the way to address that. Or we saw that children leaving the hospital didn't have the necessities because of indigent situations, and we decided to collect baby items to have a care package for every family leaving the hospital if they had their baby or whatever, but something meaningful that demonstrates that there was a need and that the 4-H members addressed that need. Step 10, who are the beneficiaries of the project? Again, the audience that you reached. If you're doing Operation Christmas Child, you don't know, but you could list children in countries around the world who are served through Samaritan's Purse and Operation Christmas Child. Or you know that you did 45 food baskets at Thanksgiving, and you know that 45 families in McNairy County are going to receive these food baskets, or whatever the case might be. Again, who you serve and the number of people, if you know. And if you don't know, if you made 50 homeless kits and you're giving them to the police department, you know that you're going to serve at least 50 people with that. List any kind of partners. Maybe you did something around healthy living and United Healthcare was involved, or your local Walmart gave you a donation, or the local Farm Bureau or co-op provided a resource. This is anything. If they provided space for you, if they provided signage, it really just helps us know who our partners are across the state, and that's really all we're asking for in this. And then the last chunk of information is really, what did you learn from this project? Again, this should come from the 4-H members. What skills did you learn? What lessons did you learn? You can be honest. The only people that are truly going to read these reports in depth will be the regional 4-H specialist and me. And so you can be honest, we learned that there wasn't as great of a need as we thought there would be for XYZ projects, so we're going to regroup next time. That's a fair statement. We learned that there is a much greater need for homelessness in our community than we thought, and we're going to work to get to the next level of engagement. So it really just helps us understand, is this service meaningful? And so when I do give reports to administration, I can say that, these are meaningful experiences, and I can give some generic examples. Of course, you can see where we asked for 3 signatures. Please don't ask your administrative assistant to sign as the volunteer leader or the program assistant. I know their names, and I just hate to see that come across. And to be real honest with you, maybe they are a leader. Now, if they are the leader who worked with that project, great. But don't wait till 10 minutes before it's due and go in there and throw it at them and say, sign this, because I can tell and I know. So, everybody should have a volunteer leader who's working with their senior high group. Ask that person that really was engaged. If you have 30 volunteers that help with the project, and that is either left blank or the administrative assistant signs it, that's a red flag for me. There also, we will not accept it, period, if we do not have a signature at least of a 4-H All-Star member in that county, period. If that's left blank, I'm not accepting it, and I'm sending it back to the regional office for it to get sent back to you. I hate to be like that, but I think we need to empower our young people to be engaged versus just us filling out the report for them and, making assumptions. So that at least needs to be on there. So I've talked about the Don Bowman piece of it. The one project that you're going to report that is what you and your group and your All-Stars feel like is the most significant, the biggest impact, etc. Then let's talk briefly about the service report form. This is a very simple process. It is an Excel spreadsheet. You'll essentially fill in the county name, and you can see on the left in the columns the name of the project. And it really asks for some of the same information, but just helps us get a total of the total reach you've done with all the projects in your county. And if you fill up a whole one of these Excel spreadsheets, fill up 2 or 3, that's wonderful. If you're doing service every week or every month, it's going to be obvious when I look at these reports. So you have 2 things due to the regional office prior to July 1. And again, the regional 4-H specialist will set those dates, but they have to be in to me no later than July 1. You're going to need the 1 copy. You can scan that, email that, mail it in, work that out with the regional office. The 1 F591 report form of your most outstanding project, followed by this report that gives an aggregate total of all the projects in an Excel spreadsheet. You all can certainly reach out to me at any point in time, and you know that. But if you do have specific questions, contact your regional 4-H specialist first. I am really banking on having 100% participation. Again, to be real honest with you, with 4-H staff in every county and engaged in every county, it's real embarrassing when we see that a county doesn't have at least 1 report to turn in. That's really embarrassing on our end. And when I report to administration that 94 counties have done service or 87 counties, you don't want to be in that list of those that didn't do it. So I would strongly encourage you. I know you're getting work done out there. I know your young people are engaged in service. Take a few minutes out of your day, schedule time for one of your senior high members to come in who is an all-star member to help you fill out that form, and then also get the volunteer leader to sign off on it. Thanks for all you do. I appreciate it very much. From the bottom of my heart, I do. And if I can help you in any way, let me know. Thank you.